I feel like I keep saying this every time I'm talking about DJI in the video, but DJI is once again innovating and just, you know, pushing technology to the limits for all of us. I already know there's dozens of videos probably this morning on these mics, so just want to go over the things I was personally hoping that they were going to upgrade and things that they might have not upgraded. And I think the more important thing, I want to answer the question for the people who are curious if they should upgrade from the original mics, or if you own any other mics from any other brands, if you know if this thing's gonna be worth the upgrade. So what's new about these? I think two things. One, we have now what I think should be a standard on every mic, and that is 32-bit float. Why is that important? I'm actually wearing the Pocket 3 mics right now. If you bought the Pocket 3 Creator Combo, you're gonna be getting a firmware update where this also has all the same features as these mics. But why is 32-bit float important? A lot of times we're having to connect a receiver to a camera, and you have a lav and whatever it is, you have to adjust your camera's audio and you have to adjust the receiver audio. And if there's anything else involved in that, you have to adjust the audio on that too. So that could get kind of cumbersome and a little bit annoying, and it's just another domino effect of things that can go wrong. So when you have 32-bit float, you don't have to worry about your audio levels. I could yell like this, or I could talk like this. And in post, I could go and I just adjust it, and it's never going to peak or it's never going to be too low. Now, obviously, if you're gonna talk too low, it's gonna lift the noise floor, and that brings in the next thing, and that is noise cancellation. When I first heard that they had noise cancellation on this, I was like, I don't know if I trust that. And it actually works pretty damn great. I know when I'm in DaVinci Resolve and any noise reduction software that I use, it kind of bogs down the audio. And as your timeline gets bigger and thicker, it starts messing it up, and then the playback can get weird and stuff. And so this just kind of solves that. So I'm going to show you guys on the mics real quick how the noise cancellation works. You could just swipe up on here and click the noise cancellation button. So let me go near my air purifier and show you guys how well this works. I'm going to turn up the air purifier. So right now the air purifier is turned all the way up. The noise cancellation might even cut this out because this is very, very, very loud. You can hear this throughout the house. So now the noise cancellation turned on, and we're going to see how well this works. Now let me step away from this and see how this works again. Okay, so say we're just standing right here. Noise cancellation is currently turned off. Now let's turn it on. Now noise cancellation is currently turned on. This is going to save you so much time, especially if you're going to be doing any run and gun or documentary work. Now, if we're doing like a really, big job and, there's a lot of money on hand, just like how I wouldn't use an autofocus lens on a job like that, I'm most likely not going to use internal noise cancellation. But when it comes to YouTube stuff or podcasts, social media stuff, I'm going to just keep this thing on at all times. Now, going back to like having to plug in the receiver and figure out audio levels, something else that they did on this is they now have presets in the receiver. Basically, the preset tells you what to set your camera's volume to best work with this whole setup with the transmitters and the receivers. You're gonna get just way better audio. Everything's gonna be cleaner. You're gonna get way less noise in there. And yeah, it's kind of genius that they did that. And I don't know why no one else has done it before. It's little things like that helps, whether you're doing content creation or whatever you're doing. Any little thing that can get out of your way just is going to make life easier. So the previous receiver was all touchscreen, and it actually sometimes would be a little bit annoying to fumble around with. And if your hands were wet, or if you had gloves on, you're in the snow or something like that, it's a little bit annoying. So they now gave us a little jog wheel on here, and this makes life so much easier again when you're in those situations where you don't want to deal with the touchscreen. Now, the next and I think most exciting thing is we now have Bluetooth on this. We can now connect wirelessly to our phones and our DJI Action 4 through Bluetooth. Now, sadly, it doesn't wirelessly connect to the internal iPhone camera app, but it does connect to the Blackmagic app, which is even better because that's usually what I use. I don't like using the in-camera Apple log just because it's like it's like ProRes HQ or something like that. As we're filming the iPhone now, on the last generation of these mics, the windscreens were a little bit tough to get on because you had to like find the little hole part and twist it on. Now we have this little socket. You can see where the actual mic port is inside of there, but it just goes into where your mic would go. And there we go. We're in Joshua Tree in the middle of the desert. Wind's blowing like crazy right now. And yeah, there we go. Now I have a cute little fluffy thing on my chest. In the Blackmagic app, I'm able to use H.265 with Apple Log and Rec 2020, and you get all the manual controls with it. And it's great if you're trying to do something on the fly. Even if I'm just like out having fun and if I want to document something real quick, I use the Blackmagic app. And you can now use this as if you're like using your professional camera, but with the Apple log on the iPhone. To me, this is the biggest game changer because not only can I use these with all my professional cameras, but I can also use it, with my iPhone for content. Now, the last and final thing, do you need to upgrade? If it was me, 1000% yes. The 32-bit float alone is, I think, super important. Say if you accidentally mess up your audio levels, let me use an example. If I'm filming like a cowboy documentary and I'm just going to stick a lav on the cowboy, again, I'm able to control the stop and start recording, the noise cancellation and all that from the receiver. But more importantly, once again, the 32-bit float, say, they start yelling at the cattle and I didn't set my levels for them peaking. I set my levels for them, talking lower. With 32-bit float, you don't have to worry about that. On top of that, I think the second biggest thing is being able to connect wirelessly through Bluetooth to your phone. To me, that's another big thing where it's like, okay, now I don't have to fidget around with a bunch of cables or getting the USB-C adapter and putting the receiver on there. I can simply just connect this to the Bluetooth and there you go. And it sounds pretty damn great. Obviously through Bluetooth, you're not going to get top quality on there, but I think for most things, just going on Instagram, I think it's going to be just fine. And then when it comes to anybody who might have other brands mics and you're curious, if you should switch over to these, why do I like these more than the other brands? And I'll be straight up and honest, pretty much every other mic company has emailed me trying to get me to review their mics, and all of them I said no because I was holding out and I was hoping that DJI was going to give us something like this. Obviously, we know DJI has some of the best wireless tech, but more importantly, I think they're kind of the best at creating like these seamless solutions. I see them as like the Apple in the filmmaking community. Again, they were the first ones to release something like this, and then everybody else started to copy them. And they're doing it once again. The internal noise cancellation, the 32-bit flow, the wirelessly connecting to the Bluetooth on here, having the charging case, and now this cool little baggie on here. And yeah, I'll stop rambling on now. That's pretty much it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll try to answer them down in the comments. And yeah, let me know what your opinion is down in the description below. That's it. Peace.